There is something strange going on South Korea that most people outside the country has never heard about. Samsung, yeah, the phone brand, also build the apartments, run the hospitals, own the theme park, write the insurance policies. South Korean government has tried to stop it 4 times. They have failed every single time. Our story began in 1938. The Korean peninsula at that time was under Japanese occupation. A 25-year-old entrepreneur named Lee Byung-chul opened a small trading company in the city of Daegu. He called it Samsung, meaning 3-star in Korea, the symbol of power, greatness, and eternity. He sold dried fish, noodles, and vegetables. Nobody could have predicted what comes next. When the Korean War ended in 1953, the entire peninsula was in rubble. South Korea has no natural resources, no industry, and no GDP to speak of. The president at that time had one desperate plan: pick a handful of family-run businesses and give them government loan, tax benefits, and protection from foreign competition, and bet the entire country economy on them. These businesses were called chaebols, and Lee Byung-chul, Samsung, was first in the line. By 1970s, Samsung was in textile, sugar refining, and construction. By 1969, Samsung Electronics was born. By 1980s, Samsung were making televisions and semiconductor. By 1990s, Samsung became a global force. In 40 years, a man who sells dried fish could one day build a business that would be a major part of South Korean GDP. Today, Samsung revenue represents 13% of the country's GDP, not 2%, not 5%, 13% from a single company. The top 5 chaebols the South Korean government helped to build represent 40% of the country's GDP. Journalists doesn't even call it South Korea anymore. They call it the Republic of Samsung. Samsung Electronics makes your Galaxy phone. Samsung C&T builds your apartment. Samsung Life Insurance hold your savings. Samsung Medical Center is where you go when you get sick. South Korea Pension Fund, which is by the way the third largest in the world, has a massive investment in Samsung itself. Working for Samsung in South Korea is not a job, it's a pinnacle of success. Young Koreans spend years studying for the Samsung aptitude test, and getting it means everything. Not getting it means you are a failure. That shows how much Samsung has influence over South Korea. But there is a dark side of building a god. In 2016, South Korea exploded into one of the largest political scandals in modern history. Millions of Koreans filled the streets of Korea and demanded justice. But what happened? President at that time, Park Geun-hye, maybe I'm pronouncing it completely wrong, so I'm really sorry, the South Korean viewer who is watching this. I have tried my best. As you know, she was the first female president of South Korea, but she was secretly being manipulated by a man named Choi Son-sil, who has no government role whatsoever. And Samsung heir Lee Jae-yong has allegedly bribed $37 million to the confidant for the government backing of $8 billion merger that will let him inherit Samsung without any tax. In 2017, the whole thing got busted and he got arrested in South Korea and sent to the prison, and the president got removed from the office and prosecuted. But here's the part that revealed everything about the system. He served less than a year in prison before the case was suspended, and in 2022 he received full presidential pardon. That's very fishy. Samsung, the company, for 3 decades dominated the global chip production, but somehow it missed the AI revolution. When Nvidia needed next generation high bandwidth memory chip for the AI revolution, Samsung somehow failed the qualification test. Their rival SK Hynix stepped in and it dominated the space by 2024 mid, and it held 62% of the market share. That's fascinating. And Samsung has fallen to just 17%. That's catastrophic for the company. The result, $126 billion wiped out from the Samsung market value. And here's a question South Koreans have been asking for decades and still cannot answer. Samsung has built a miracle of a company on South Korea, but here's the thing, it also built a system where one family corruption could topple a president.